Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Guys, can I just say a big thank you to every single one of you who contributed to my charity event, whether it was just a well wish, whether it was financial contribution. Thank you so much. We did it last night. We did 10Ks through Birmingham City Centre. It went really well and we raised a significant amount of money for cancer research. So I'm really thankful and I'm really proud of you guys. So guys, a story has been brought to my attention and I just want to ask Jamaican people, not to cheat on one another. It's causing a problem. So I'm going to talk to you now about a story that I heard of a Jamaican man who was killed in Florida by his own wife just because of his inability to remain faithful, according to her. Now they sound like an ideal family, right? Live in Florida, have 2 children, twins, 14-year-old. I know that there's a boy. I don't know if it's 2 boys, but I am going to read this story and we're going to talk about it. So I'm in the park, so we're just going to walk and talk, walk and read, whatever. So sometimes I'm going to flip the camera around because I don't want you to see the phone that I'm reading from. Looks tacky. But anyway, we're going to go through the story, right? So I'm reading from the Jamaica Observer, but it is also in the American papers and I will try to get those as well. So let us start. So it says, Florida woman claims she was at her wit's end when she killed her Jamaican husband, according to police reports. A woman charged with the murder of her husband reportedly told police she was at her wit's end over infidelity issues when she committed the crime. According to reports, 45-year-old Denise Malcolm shot and killed her Jamaican husband, 52-year-old Rowan, on Saturday, August 31st at their Coral Springs, Florida home, which they shared with their children. That is traumatic. Oh my God. Anyway, let's continue. The court documents released on Thursday revealed that one of the couple's 14-year-old twin sons witnessed his father bleeding out on the floor of the parents' bedroom after being shot multiple times. Rowan was reportedly still alive when his son saw him clutching his shoulder. However, Denise later told detectives she fired one final shot, killing her husband just as police arrived. Imagine. So this sounds premeditated, right? Because let us say she had a moment where she snapped. I mean, you can snap and just carry out the situation like to completion, and she did. Oh my God, this story is so horrible. So the mom shot the dad. The son witnessed the dad bleeding on the floor, which means the mom would have seen the son witnessing her shooting the dad, and this never stopped her. You know how far this woman had to be pushed to do this? And I am in no way saying that this is right, but it's happened and we genuinely need to stop. We need to stop because some things we can control. We can control our behaviors, right? And this cheating business, this infidelity, this situation where we think that, we're gonna mess with people's feelings and emotion, this is what it leads to. And now we are in a situation where a set of twins are now without both parents, because undoubtedly the wife is going to go to jail and the husband is no longer. So these boys, I don't know what's going to happen to them, but the sad part is this happened in their home, right? This happened with their parents. So this is what they have learned as life lessons, to say this is how we behave as men. We cheat on our wives, but even worse than that, this is how we resolve problems as women. We take the lives of people who upset us and cause us pain, and this is why our society is like that, and things are never going to get any better. It's just absolutely disgusting, and I'm just going to continue to read. I'm going to keep flipping the camera backwards and forwards. When I think I've got something important to say, I'll turn the camera on myself. Otherwise you can look at this beautiful view. So we're just going to walk and read. So let's carry on. Authorities received a call from the couple's son around 6:30 p.m. reporting that his father had been shot in the shoulder and was still alive. So like I was saying, the boy could witness that the father was shot in the shoulder, so of course it means that he was quite close to the event as it was going on. And of course the mom would have seen that the son was there, and it is just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that the husband caused the woman so much trauma, and then in turn the wife now caused the children so much trauma. I don't know. But anyway, when police arrived at the home and issued verbal commands for the occupants to exit, the 14-year-old twins came out, but Malcolm remained inside according to reports. While continuing to issue commands, officers heard a sound resembling a gunshot from inside the house. During a later interview with detectives, Malcolm reportedly admitted the sound was the fatal shot she had fired at her husband. So this sounds very much premeditated. She was very much aware that she didn't have to fire the last shot that took his life. I don't know what caused that. I don't know what was going through her head at the time. I mean, she could have just wounded him and say if she wanted to teach him a lesson, then she would teach him a lesson. But I'm not in any way saying that her actions are right, but what I'm saying is these things happen. Okay, let's continue reading. She reportedly explained that for 2 years their marriage had deteriorated due to Ron's infidelity. And this is what I'm talking about. If you don't want to be married, get divorced. You know, just leave. Because not everybody is going to sit in silence and do nothing. And sometimes we talk about the straw that breaks the camel's back. And I think this lady had had enough. And she thought, you know what, I'm sick of it. Feel disrespected, I'm hurting over and over again, nothing's changed, I've forgiven you over and over again, but this continues. So since my life and my feelings mean nothing to you, all of a sudden you mean nothing to me. And so she ended his life. Let's continue. As a result, they slept in separate bedrooms and frequently engaged in heated verbal altercations. She did not trust him and was at her wit's end with his lies and deceit. Sometimes, you know, you see, if trust is broken in the beginning, you might as well just separate, because when people cheat, it just causes a break in trust, and no matter what you say now to the other person, you're going to question it. There's going to be some insecurities. You're never ever going to trust that person completely again. It's going to be difficult. So if they're saying that they're going to the shop and the shop is 5 minutes away and they don't come back in 6 minutes, you're going to be like, you're on it again, cheating. So sometimes it's easier. Jesus Christ, I'm attacked by birds, sorry. So sometimes it's just easier to just walk away and leave certain situations. Right. It says on the day of the incident, Ron and Denise reportedly had an argument after returning from shopping for a planned Labor Day barbecue. Ron had unexpectedly announced he was going out with friends, sparking Malcolm's suspicion and anger. Believing Ron was lying, Malcolm became upset and a heated argument ensued, lasting 45 minutes. Imagine arguing for 45 minutes. Who has time for that? Who has got time for that? Nobody's got time for that. Believing Ron was lying, Malcolm became upset and a heated argument ensued, lasting 45 minutes to an hour. In her rage, she went to her bedroom closet, retrieved a pistol and loaded it. Have mercy. That means this was just so premeditated, because she had enough time. If she had to go to the closet, retrieve the weapon, it takes some time to load a magazine. I should know. I was in the army, right? So there was enough time for her to stop herself and think, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But I think the intent was there to end his life. I think she had had enough and she thought, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm putting an end to it. I don't know. But it's just the worst outcome that could possibly happen. It is alleged that she then stood in the doorway and shot her husband multiple times. She then closed her bedroom door and locked it and was planning to end her own life after Ron died, reports said. It is reported that she told police that while she contemplated ending her own life. Her husband said something to her that made her stop her thoughts to end her own life and shot him the final time. My God, can you imagine? She said she thought about ending her own life, and after what she did, and then her husband said something to her that caused her to change her mind from ending her own life and just firing the last fatal shot. I wonder what this man could have said to her. I've not read the article completely yet, so we're finding out together everything that ensued. Now, did he say something to provoke her? Did he say something like, oh, you're gonna go to prison, you're never worth it, you were never worth it anyway, I didn't love you anyway, I've cheated on you 1,000 more times than you actually think? I wonder what he would have said to her that caused her to think, what you just said to me? Alright, see, last one here. My God. Let's carry on. Malcolm has been held without bail in Broward Sheriff's Office since the incident. Let's look if we can find any more articles. So that was from the Jamaica Observer. So let us now see Coral Springs Talk. So I found another article from the Coral Springs Talk, and we're gonna go through and read this one and see if there's any new. Wait, this story looks very, very short. Oh no, it's long, but there's loads of adverts in it. So let's carry on. So this one is from an American paper. So this is like the local paper for where they lived. So I'm gonna read this one. So it says, man fatally shot by wife in Coral Springs has been identified, and this was printed 4 days ago. It says, authorities have identified a 52-year-old man allegedly killed by his wife in Coral Springs Saturday, police said. Rowan Noel Malcolm was allegedly shot multiple times by Denise Malcolm, 45, in a domestic-related homicide at their residence in the address, according to a Coral Springs police arrest report. Police received a 911 shortly after 6:30 p.m. from a boy inside the residence who said a man there had been shot. 2 officers arrived and took cover outside the front of the residence while giving commands for the people inside to come out, police said. Hold on guys, I'm scrolling down. 2 children exited the residence before officers said they heard a gunshot ring out inside. That was the shot that ended it for him, because remember she said she fired one last fatal shot after he said something to her. Denise Malcolm came out of the residence a short time later and was arrested by police. She is charged with the premeditated murder and was being held without bond Tuesday at the Paul Ryan Detention Facility in Pompano Beach. Officers found Rowan Malcolm on the bedroom floor, no longer alive from multiple gunshot wounds, police said. Let's see if there's anything else. This article has a lot of adverts. I'm reading from my phone. According to Jamaican news reports, Rowan Malcolm formerly worked as an IT specialist for a Jamaica Observer newspaper. Imagine working for the paper and now ended up in the paper, the said paper that he worked for, so for something like this. It is ridiculous. People, we need to stop the cheating. We need to stop disrespecting people. We need to stop playing with people's emotions. It says a gun was found at the homicide scene, Coral Springs Police Chief Bradley McCone said on Sunday. And it goes on to say no motive, blah blah blah. But we already know that there is motive for this. But anyway, I don't want to talk too long. My point is, we need to stop playing with people's emotion. We need to stop traumatizing our children. We need to stop traumatizing our women and our men with this kind of foolish behavior. Because now, what is going to happen to these 14-year-old boys? Is this now how they are going to resolve their own problems? Whenever they meet someone and the person decides that, you know what, I no longer want to be with you, so I'm going to move on to somebody else. Are they going to say, oh really, you're not leaving me, so I'm gonna end your life. This is what they learned in their homes. This is what they learned from the people who were supposed to be instilling morals and good practices with them. And now, 14 years old, they're impressionable, right? I don't know. The trauma. Now these kids are going to need therapy. These kids are in the papers for all the wrong reasons. They are without parents. Who's going to look after them now? Life is going to be significantly different for these children, all because of what? Infidelity. It wasn't worth it. It really wasn't. No, I'm sure that these people who the man was cheating with, I'm sure that these women are still alive and okay. No, he is going to be 6 feet beneath the ground. Wife is going to be in prison. Children, I think sometimes when people are cheating, they don't give any consideration to anything at all. They just know that they're enjoying their lives. They like change, they like newness, they like excitement, whatever it is. But my advice is, if you feel like something is not working, leave it. You know, don't disrespect people. The woman probably felt disrespected over and over and over again. No, we will never hear the other side of the story, you know. We will never hear the man's side of the story. We will never hear what happened. But what we know is, she said over a 2-year period, it was a lot of lies and deceit, and she had enough of it. And so she decided to take matters into her own hands. And there's a saying that says, hell has no fury like a woman's coin. And there it is. Guys, we hear of the stories. We hear of people using people all the time to get what we want. We hear of these women going to Jamaica, marrying these men, and just feel like they're used and abused. And you know, they come online and they tell their stories and different things, and they're hurt, they lose a lot of money, you know, they have to rebuild, some of them. And it's not easy. It's not always easy, because you put your love and your trust and your emotions in somebody, and then they disrespect you. And then while some people will walk away, obviously not everybody walks away that easy. No, I hope that other people learn from this story. And I'm not going to say I'm placing this on just men, because women cheat too. Women act the same way as men do, and we just have to do better, if not for ourselves, for our children. And if we know that this is the way that we're going to behave, then we need to leave children out of the situation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Thank you all for everything, and I'll see you again in my next one.